UNICEF is the leading children organization globally for children, and we have the mandate, the universal mandate to protect the child, the right of every child, no matter who they are and where they are. We are on the ground in 190 countries and territories, and work with government, with businesses, with civil society, with children, with young people, to ensure that every child survive and thrive. Every child have learn and acquire skills for the future. Every child is protected from violence, from abuse, from negligence, from all forms of harms, and that every child also have access to water, sanitation, hygiene, and also live in a sustainable climate and sustainable environment, as well as also to ensure that every child has access to social protection and every child is free from poverty. So that's UNICEF actual mission and mandate, and really work to make sure that every child is vaccinated, every child is educated, and every child is protected. This is actually more than any organization actually who does work in this area, as well as also we do a lot of work on influencing laws and policies and help countries actually to put laws in place for protection of children. Gamers Without Borders is really very innovative actual initiative, and I'm very very proud to say that we are now having this partnership with Gamers Without Borders for the 3 years now in a row. So since 2020, we have been a partner of the Gamers Without Borders, and I think the initiative itself very innovative, creative, and it helped actually to see that the online gaming can contribute to the good cause of children. It can contribute, as I was saying earlier, to saving lives of children in conflict situations, and also to changing the life of children, and to be able to reach every child everywhere, to give them that opportunity. So I'm really very proud of this partnership, and really would like to thank actually the Saudi Esport Federation for our excellent collaboration, but also to thank all the talented gamers who have provided generously to UNICEF in the last few years, and they contributed actually to changing children's lives globally. And I'm very glad to see that, as I said, the gaming industry, Gamers Without Borders, is an initiative that can contribute to the cause of children, and to help making difference in the life of children globally. So this is very significant. I'm really very proud to see that we are partnering with the Gamers Without Borders and the e-gaming industry in general. Absolutely. I think we're very much grateful for the donation that we received last year. As you said, 6.4 million. I think we're the organization which received the largest share of the donation, the 10 million. So we received 6.4 million. And that really contributed significantly to the work we're doing on the response to the COVID-19 and to help children and their families. And I can speak of some specific results achieved and that contribution. We managed actually to deliver close to 1 billion COVID-19 doses to 144 countries with this contribution. But also we managed to deliver the personal protection equipment to health workers and frontline workers, dealing with COVID-19 in 87 countries. At the same time, also we managed to scale up the oxygen treatment systems of 45 countries, but also we provided rapid test facilities and equipment to 12 countries. Moreover, actually, more than that, we managed to actually to help children continue their learning through distance learning in many, many countries. So that was really a significant contribution, and it has contributed significantly actually to the supporting children, but supporting also those countries to deal with COVID-19, to reduce the infection, but at the same time to allow children to continue their learning, to continue their normal life. I think that was excellent, and we very much appreciate that excellent contribution that we have received in 2021. Indeed, in 2020, actually, the contribution we received, this was the first year actually of our engagement. And I think the third year also the Games Without Borders was launched. And I think even we came in the mid of the tournament, but we were very much really happy to see that we received excellent support from the those who are the gamers, the talented gamers. We received $3.9 million, and that was, in fact, at the time when the COVID-19 actually just hit. That it was 2020, if you recall, around February, March, and then the world has been confronted with this unprecedented pandemic. So again, this actually support, the general support, very valuable support, help us actually to scale up our COVID-19 emergency response in around the world, and that can help us actually to provide water and sanitation supplies, as well as personal protection equipment, as I was saying earlier, especially for frontline and health workers, but also support children and women with essential health services. And of course, again, to support children to go to continue their learning through the distance learning, because schools were closed. So that's also another important element to make sure that children can continue their learning and education at that time. As well as, of course, to support health workers and caregivers with training to provide psychosocial support, actually, to children who were very much confined at the time. So that another impact of the closures and lockdowns on children. That, essentially, a great support actually to protect children, but also to try and make sure that the impact of the lockdown and closures is minimized as much as possible through the training of health workers, but also caregivers, but also children, to give them the tips on how they can deal with that situation. And just to mention, in fact, the personal protection equipment include different items which are really essential, and I can mention some of those, just an example, so that people can know about it. There, you have the surgical mask, we have the gloves, we have the N95 respirators, we have the gowns, we have the face shields and goggles, and we have the medical equipment, as well as, of course, the oxygen concentrators. These are all really needed for health workers, but also for those who are affected by the COVID-19 virus. So that was tremendous support, and it definitely contributed to saving lives, as I'm saying all the time, but also contributed to help children continue with their education, and also to minimize the impact of the pandemic on them socially and psychologically. So that was excellent contribution and support. Very much, of course, appreciative of this support, and I really would like to thank the talented gamers who really supported UNICEF work at the time, and we hope they will continue doing that. And just they should feel proud of their contribution, as I've said, to children, and also to those who are affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, Ukraine actually, unfortunately, is the latest, but not the only conflict situation that we are responding to. So it just came now recently, but there are many, many other unresolved conflicts around the planet that continue to kill and maim children, and continue to disrupt their education and deprive them from basics, health, and nutrition, and to expose them actually to unspeakable mental traumas, as I was saying. So there are, large number of children now in conflict. Unfortunately, conflicts and humanitarian crises have increased recently, even before Ukraine. But I can tell you that there are millions now of children. I think we're talking about 370 million children affected by conflicts. And then, if you can just mention a few countries, I mean, of course, Ukraine, the latest one, but then we have Afghanistan, we have Syria, we have Yemen, we have South Sudan, we have Central African Republic, we have in West Africa, of course, Burkina Faso, Cameroon, all those countries, Mali, Niger. There are a lot of children affected by situation. Even Nigeria, if you look at it, and northern Nigeria. So that's why we thought the focus this time is supposed to go for children affected by conflicts because they're the most suffering actually, and the conflicts have disrupted their life, as I was saying, disrupted their education and affected their both physical and mental health. And just to mention, actually, over the more than 75 years, UNICEF responded to the needs of children in conflicts, big and small, as I was saying earlier. In 2020, actually, even before the Ukraine, conflict, we have set a plan to reach a large number of children. And I can just give you some actually figures in terms of our targets for responding to the needs of children in conflict situations. We would like to see that 77.1 million children to have access to formal and non-formal education, and also 62.1 million children to be immunized against measles. Measles actually is one of the preventable diseases, but it's affecting children severely actually around the world. And there is a surgence actually of measles recently. And then also to have 53.4 million people to have access to safe water for drinking and domestic needs. And of course, that's reflect positively on the children, because if there is no access for safe drinking water, sanitation, and hygiene, then you have then issues of other health risks, including diarrhea. So those elements are really critical for children and their families. And then 27.9 million children and caregivers to have access to mental health and psychosocial support. This is, again, especially in conflict situations, children, experience very difficult situations. Sometimes they witness violence. Sometimes their schools are affected. Sometimes they can be seen actually landmines around their areas. So mental and psychosocial support is really also important, and we're trying, as I was saying, to reach the 23.6 million, 27.9 million children and caregivers with mental health. And then also we are talking about reaching 23.6 million household with cash transfer to meet their basic needs. Cash transfer also now actually it seems to be one of the critical and important tools to help children and their families actually meet their basic needs in conflict situation. And we've been doing that. We have now been doing that in places like in Afghanistan and in Yemen, as well as in Syria. It seems to be very effective. And again, also to reach 7.2 million children with nutrition services, 7.2 million severely malnourished children who are at the risk of dying if they don't receive, nutrition services, including therapeutic, actually, nutrition services. So that's hopefully our goal, and I'm hopefully that the talented gamers and the fans will support this cause and they will contribute to this work in saving children's lives, but also in changing children's lives in this unfortunate conflict situations. My message actually to the gamers around the world, and I'm glad to see that there is a huge number of them globally engaged in this event. I would like to invite all participants to donate their prizes to UNICEF. This is a direct call to every participant and to every fan watching the games. With your donation, we help children affected by conflict. That amount of money will buy school bags, provide vaccine doses, deliver safe drinking water, treat severely malnourished children with therapeutic foods, and also provide them with psychosocial support. In a nutshell, that will really save lives and also change children's life in conflict situations. So I really, ask them and to all the participants and those who are watching to support UNICEF, and the participants, of course, to donate to UNICEF to contribute to the cause of children. and to make a difference for children, especially as I was saying, children living in conflict situation, children really very vulnerable, and they can really have a great impact. But also, I invite them, of course, to join UNICEF mission of providing for children, of protecting children, of changing the lives of children. I invite them to join Team UNICEF. I would like to invite them to be one of us and to be hopefully part of this journey. I know that there is a race going, but also we have race against time to save lives, to support children. So I would like them to join also this race through the race which they are taking now, and to be part of us and to be one of us, and to make difference for children globally.